Hello everybody, welcome back to another week of Social Club. Yes, it is live, Flav.
It's been nice to be informed before we start.
Oh, it was, but we've spoken about it before. Anyway, it's Ask the Club time. I've got some questions. If you want to ask us a question, you can do that every single Monday. You follow us on Twitter at Ball Street and get your questions in, and we will ask them on the show. That's why it's called
Ask the Club.
Ask the Club. Join with Rory from CFC Fan TV, Flav from The Fighting Cock, and CJ, otherwise known as Deluded Gooner. Before I get into it, this show and Social Club as a whole is in partnership with the charity Calm. It's a charity that kind of gives people a chance to sort of talk about their problems. So if you're feeling a little bit low, there's a link in the description. You can click on that and go and have a chat with those guys if you feel like you need to. Let's have a chat here then, guys. Enchanting Duck. Good Twitter name, isn't it? Yeah. If Arsenal can only prioritise one, do you think they should try to make Champions League football through the League or the Europa League?
I mean, you'd like to think the League. I mean, people will say we didn't do it last year, but if you look at it, we're like, what, 5th, 6th, something like that. It's from 2nd to 7th, there's not really much in it. It changes, it fluctuates from game to game. Logically speaking, if you have around 20-odd games or something like that, you need to go after that. I mean, cup competition, we did it in the FA Cup, but I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket going for Europa League.
Do you feel confident with the Europa League?
I don't really care about it, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't really care about it. It's great for the young players. It's great for our fringe players. Obviously, if we go to further rounds, I want to win it. But I just can't get behind it. I mean, if we get to them rounds and we play our stronger players, then you never know what can happen. We could do a bit like United. But is Wenger a cerebral in his approach like Jose? Is he going to rest players in the Prem to focus on that?
But no. You got that team that you're playing?
Yeah, that's where
are they
from.
I don't know.
What country are they from?
Probably as big as
Sweden,
Tottenham.
Sweden.
Sweden?
No, it was Sweden.
Oh, right, I thought you said Sweden. I thought you said Sweden. You're playing Sweden in the Europa League.
Oh, right, no, they got the English manager, so...
I understand not caring about it right now, but you get to March, and if you were, say, 7th in the Premier League, then you're going to care about it.
I mean, common sense would tell you the better you do in all competitions, the broader scope you have to qualify for it. Me personally, you target the Prem first. That's the best way of going through it. Then you have a contingency plan. Of course, you don't want to lose on purpose, but for me, the Prem, logically speaking, there's 20-odd games at this moment in time. Europa League, there's like 4.
I think even if you've got a realistic chance of winning the Champions League, most managers would double down on getting into that top 4 if they were in a position where, like Spurs are or like Arsenal are on the peripheries of 4th at this week, as you say.
Yeah, it fluctuates from week to week.
Each week. But you've got the most realistic chance of qualifying is that top 4 place. The Europa League, despite all of the turgid, horrible ties you have to play for the vast majority of the competition, towards the end gets quite difficult.
Really difficult, but for that reason, I actually disagree with CJ. I think it's a really good trophy. I really do. I think when Chelsea won that in 2013, I loved it. The fact that you can now get into the Champions League via it is important. Also, at the beginning of the season, you entered 4 trophies. Yeah. I don't think that you're in a position, or any of the clubs that we support, are in a position to...
Certainly not one of them.
Yeah, sorry, James. I don't think that anyone's in a position to disregard a trophy.
No, I wouldn't say disregard. I just feel the best way is to go against the Prem. I mean,
I'd agree with that.
Out of the odd years since Wenger's been here, we've only not done it once. But that should be a kick in the arse.
Yeah, absolutely. But I see that trophy, I see the Europa Cup, whatever it's called now, as a real achievement. I think, when a club... when Seville managed to do a hat-trick... when Manchester United won it last year, beating that young, gifted Ajax team.
But do they care about Europa League or the fact that it has Champions League? Like, let's be honest, it's a champion. We're in it because we failed to get Champions League. It's a competition for failures. You come into that's the honesty. You get into Europa League because you failed to get out of the Champions League group. Like, it's a competition for failures.
Other people have achieved... For other clubs, for Arsenal that's the case, but there are other clubs who are delighted to
have done it, but I mean, let's not beat around the bush and sugarcoat
Burnley getting Burnley get into the Europa League, that's an achievement.
That's an achievement relative to them, of course, but it's still a thing for failures. No young footballer wakes up and says, I want to win Europa League one day. Nobody cares. The fact is, United's season was crap last year. They got Champions League, so it glossed it. Not because they won Europa, it's because of what you get past it.
If your mindset is the top 4 or top 6, but if you're Burnley, you're like, we'd love to win Europa League.
We're talking about Arsenal, isn't it?
No, I still like the trophy. Like when Chelsea won it, Champions League qualification wasn't attached to that trophy.
Yeah.
It was simply winning a trophy.
Yeah.
On European soil.
Of course.
I don't think that should be overlooked.
I mean,
have you always felt like that? Like, do you remember? I don't know if you're probably too young, but I remember when Arsenal got to a final and lost. I think they lost to Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Will you feel? As a club, do you feel like Arsenal would have disregarded that trophy then?
No, of course not. Of course, if we go and win it, of course I'm gonna be the first person that's happy and excited. And I'm not saying I want us to lose it. I'm just saying, one, we need to target top 4, and two, let's not gloss Europa League. It's a cup for failures. You can see Wenger obviously doesn't care about it.
I think it's actually a shame that it's got to that stage, and you're right. And the reason why it has is the importance. All of the money, all the importance is placed on the Champions League.
Even that, the money thing.
Europa League, the UEFA have done their best to devalue that competition and then try and fix it at the last minute. No one cares about it, ultimately, because it does nothing to secure your future at all. Okay. That said, just to underline it, if Burnley got there, that wouldn't be a...
No, that would be success. We need to use relative success to people.
But if Chelsea had dropped out of the Champions League top 2 in our group, and there was a period when we played our 2 middle games against Roma where we only took 1 point in 2 games, where I thought it was a possibility.
Yeah.
If Chelsea had dropped out of the Champions League and had entered that competition,
you'd want to win.
I would be really passionate.
Of course I want to win it, but
I would
see it as I wouldn't see it. I honestly wouldn't see it as failure. If Arsenal win that trophy this year, I would see that as being a successful season.
I'm happy you said that. Look at our trophies. We need to add more European trophies. Of course, it's a European title at the end of the day. I agree with you. I'll be happy with that. But I can't look past the fact that Champions League, that's the carrot, that's what we're trying to get. Whether our future targets, our slim hopes of keeping Alexis and Ozil, if there is any, a lot hinges on top 4. So I'm looking at is we need to get Champions League. I keep saying top 4, but Champions League, that's the real carrot. Like the importance placed on that isn't the actual Europa League. I'd love to win it, but the champs is the carrot.
That's a fair point. Okay, at GT4ABL, what has happened to Dele Alli? Hasn't scored a goal since that brace against Real Madrid on November the 1st, I think it was. What's going on? Should have been sent off for the weekend.
Yeah.
I thought surely Kane, one of the most tribal football fans I know, even he's not going to defend that one, surely.
Yeah, that was bad.
What has happened?
He's out of form, desperately out of form. I think so much of his game is based on finding space. You know, his actual ability with the ball isn't incredible. I'm not talking about striking the ball towards goal or finding ways to shoot, or his ability, his instinctive knack to beat a player or put it through someone's legs. All those are moments of quality. But his all-round play, he still requires a lot of work. You know, he's not as quick at moving the ball as you need to be as a number 10. He's not mobile enough as a number 10 currently. So there are elements about his play that will let him down. He's got his all-round ability has holes in it, but he can play badly and score 2 goals. It's just that it's not coming off for him at the moment.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Now that you just said something about his general play, it could be worked on, right? He's been scoring goals, he's great at that. But shouldn't you attribute that? Of course he has to take blame because he's the one playing, but to Poch to a degree. Because if that's Pep gets that out of him. You look at Sterling. Sterling had problems shooting the ball, and he still does, but there's evidently an improvement. There's evidently an improvement.
Yeah, so
Dele is still somewhat the same player he was when he came to Spurs. The difference is he just keeps scoring. I love Dele, but that's the fact.
Yeah, I mean, he had when he first started and he was scoring goals, but again, his play weren't all that. I remember saying, I said it multiple times on camera on Bull Street, saying that he's a very, very rough diamond. He isn't the player that everyone's building him up to be. He needs a lot of work. And then he had this purple patch in the most extreme. He was incredible. He scored
18 goals last year.
Yeah, he scored 4 braces in a row. Wow. And you're like, well, it doesn't matter what he's all-round plays. If he's scoring 2 goals a game,
you've done your job.
But then that started to dry up, and we're in that position again. It coincided with the fact that there seemed to be some sort of behavioural problem on the pitch. Not so much lashing out, because apart from the bad challenge at the weekend, he's actual all-round play in terms of fighting and wanting to get involved. That kind of has left his game more or less. But he's in a poor form. But Spurs are in poor form as well, and you know we're getting results, but without playing incredibly well at the moment.
Aside from the Man City games, do you dominate games like you did before?
Yeah, but because
that's why I was wondering if the important thing with him is goals, then you're not going to score as many goals if you're not dominating games. So it's not all on him.
Dominating in what sense? We're dominating him. We're dominating teams that come to Wembley and teams that are kind of further down the league because they're so defensive. So you dominate the possession. We're not dominating in the way that we create so many clear-cut chances as we did before. Although against Stoke we could have won 10-1. It's tough. I mean, it was always going to be tough. It's a transitional season. It's very difficult. You know, Wembley is horrible. It's not just about playing on that turf. None of the fans want to be there. Like, people are trying to give tickets away. Like, people can't give their tickets away because no one wants to go to that place. Like, walk into like, there's some sort of things I want to connect it to that I won't say on Social Club because people say, oh, you're going out of order, but it's fucked, basically. You're walking along to a place that you don't want to be in, and then you're supposed to create atmosphere, and you're like, just get me out of this shithole.
Lovely.
Yeah. It's not like Spurs to like Wembley.
So the truth is the truth. Obviously, he's in not the greatest form at the moment, but the truth is that when people are going so crazy, he's actually somewhere in the middle. When people are saying he's so brilliant, sorry, he's not actually that either. He's somewhere in the middle.
He's got huge amounts of potential, and he is somewhere in the middle of his potential. No. It's a weird situation because his potential, having scored shitloads of goals and being influential, it's just that his form currently dips in and out, and it's kind of a regular occurrence now. Look, are you saying to me, would I get rid of him? No, I wouldn't.
No,
get rid of
I'm
him.
not saying that.
No, I'm just asking. If that devil's advocate, you are saying that if he ain't that good, and get rid of him, then I wouldn't. I wouldn't get rid of him.
Would you drop him?
I think, I mean, he got dropped against Brighton.
Correct decision, though.
We played well without him.
Okay. Mr. DJ at Expat Guna, and I'm going to go to your questions in a second. I'm going to have a look now, so get your questions in if you've got any. If you could, how would you implement a winter break in English football over the holiday period?
I wouldn't.
Nor would I.
I wouldn't, thank you. Thank you. What was the agreement?
Well, give me a second because I need to.
What makes that different, man?
What are you saying? What, winter break? No, full stop.
No,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Don't need
At
that.
any stage.
Fuck that.
There is no.
You don't need that.
It's not cold. We don't have freezing temperatures here. Winter break is necessary in Germany and Russia, where the temperature dips to minus.
English
15.
managers just look for excuses. You know for years you've got this. Have a squad capable.
The argument-
It's tradition.
The argument,
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with all of this. The argument for it is that it gives players a chance to be refreshed. That going into latter stages of European competition, you'll have as much rest as the people you're coming up against. That's the argument for it. But that same thing, I remember a time when there was 3 English people in the Champions League. English teams in the Champions League.
It wasn't said in no way.
And for me, that period is about fans. Like, forget all the money for a second and all the fucking football, what's best for the players and what. Just get on the pitch and entertain us. Boxing Day tradition is what, going to the game, family, friends, few beers, after Christmas, go and watch your team play. For that moment, I don't care how much money.
What about winter break once all that's done? Say like January 4th.
Why? What's the point?
Well, yeah. So the way I would do a winter break is I would have 10 days after the FA Cup third round.
Why?
Yeah, because they need a break. They're knackered.
Why they
But
need
they
a
have
break?
how much?
They play so many games in December.
But
Liverpool
so what
play
if they're
7
knackered?
games in 21 days.
But it's the same for everyone. It's the same rules for everyone. Why
We're
can't they be
all
knackered?
knackered
Why can't they
together.
go to work knackered like everyone else?
Because when it comes to a World Cup or whatever, that is one thing that I
There was
don't.
no winter break in 1966 when they won it.
But there's no winter break for anyone else.
Have a squad big enough.
I think that's what I would do. I would go 10
In
days.
2008, you had in 2008, Chelsea played Manchester United in the Champions League final in Moscow. There was no winter break. English clubs got to the final.
Exactly.
English clubs, English players trained on Christmas Day and got to the final of the Champions League. 2 English clubs.
From 06 to about 2011, I'd say there was almost an English team in the Champions League final or near enough every year.
Also,
Manchester
surprised.
United were there twice, Liverpool were there twice, Chelsea were there.
Okay. Quick
twice.
questions from the comments then. Adam Floyd, Rory,
12,
is Simeone link real?
No, Adam, I can't see that one happening. We'd be insane to get rid of Antonio Conte at this stage. We've been in incredible form. We're playing really well. It's just Manchester City have been so good. I think in the last 10 games, we've won 8, drawn 1 and lost 1. That wins you the league if Manchester City weren't so brilliant.
Yeah,
There's absolutely no crisis.
There's a lot of fans going mental about their football club. I'm not just saying Arsenal, Chelsea or wherever it might be, Spurs as well, going mental because we're not challenging for the league. No one challenges for the league this year. There is no chance. Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. Man City are the best. I mean, we're going to talk about this in another video. But they're the best team in Europe. They're the best team. Okay. Spurs have played. That's for fun.
Also, Simeone just dropped out of Europe at the expense of Antonio Conte's Chelsea. Absolutely does not really. Yeah, it makes no sense.
There's a massive obsession from football fans that are saying like, well, let's just change it. Let's just change it.
Everyone just wants new and change.
Yeah, because no one knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll just change it. To what? To what? What do you want? Tell me something. Tell me someone better than Antonio Conte for Chelsea at this stage.
Yeah.
And then they're going, well, I'd just change it. Yeah. That's their response. It's fucking idiots everywhere.
I think Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Right, and very, very quickly, last one. Does Antonio Giusti, does Harry Kane get special treatment because of his name? He should have got a red in the City game and nobody mentions it.
For sure. Look at what the referee said. The referee said Harry Kane is not a horrible person. What kind of nonsense is that? It's a red card. Not just Kane.
Harry Kane is not a
Dele and
horrible
Otamendi should
person,
have won.
but you can't.
He's not horrible,
It's the inconsistency that
Yeah,
really
it
was.
is. It's the inconsistency.
Like
It is.
when Mane got sent off, and that. Do you remember the Mane sending off?
Yeah.
And it really did divide opinion. Really did divide opinion, that one. You know, people were arguing and still debating it today. People can't agree. I think it's pretty much a simple fact. If this is the rule, if you kick somebody in the head, you go.
The rules are the rules, exactly.
You go. Whereas Mane, when Harry Kane didn't.
Hold on. Well, Harry Kane was kicked in the head during.
Sorry, Harry Kane was kicked in.
No, there's two. No, so there's two. There's
Harry
one
Kane was kicked in the head.
Harry Kane was kicked in the head, and then there was another one. He's done a leg challenge, and he's gone like that straight away afterwards, which I think probably
Sterling.
yeah.
But Harry Kane's one on Sterling, obviously not malicious, but.
The one where
it's a red card,
it's a red card.
Malicious or
Doesn't
not,
matter.
like it's dangerous play. Whether he meant it or not, it's still that.
So does he get special treatment? It seems that he got special treatment from this referee. It doesn't mean that he gets special treatment from everybody.
Fair.
But you know, so what?
Okay. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed. What's going on with Dele Alli? Does Harry Kane get preferential treatment? And should Arsenal focus on the Europa League? Let us know in the comments. Check out all the Social Club videos this week. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. We'll see you soon.